Okay, so today we'll discuss about the load balancer. So everyone in our company, right, in our organization will be using the load balancing. Any company, whoever have working on the multiple clients, multiple requests, multiple servers, they definitely would have one load balancer installed in the project or in the organizations. So what is the load balancer and what kind of load balancer services being provided by the AWS? Today we'll discuss about the load balancer which provided by the AWS. Okay, so there are in AWS there are four types of load balancers. Okay, like that is called elastic load balancer, ELB. So four types of load balancers are there. One is classic application load balancer, one is network load balancer, and the new one they have introduced, that is called the gateway load balancers. Okay, so let me share my screen and then we'll discuss further on that, what is exactly load balancer and why, what kind of services AWS provides. Okay. Okay, so the load balancer, if you see, Uh, in computing, load balancing refers to the process of distributing a set of tasks over a set of resources with the aim of making their overall processing more efficient. Right. So a load balancer acts as the traffic curve sitting in front of your server and routing the client requests across all the servers capable of fulfilling those requests in a manner that maximizes speed and capacity utilization and ensures that no one server is overworked. So that means it is actually worked as a traffic curve who redirects the traffic based on the resource availability. If you have a 15, if you have 15 servers or 15 servers and your applications, all 15 servers are proposing one purpose, like applications you have been installed there, or you're serving the customer with the applications, and if you want to redirect the request based on the resources availability. So what is meant by resources availability? Resources availability means if you have 15 server, few servers, if there is a workloads, means the traffic, the customer increases if one server is highly loaded. One server is highly loaded based on the memory, based on the storage, based on the IOPS. Okay, if it is highly loaded, what will load balancer do? It will redirect the traffic the next available application server. Okay, or any uh, server whatever we would have set up. So those can be done by the load balancer. So what it says, if a single server goes down, the load balancer redirects traffic to the remaining online servers. When a new server is added to the server group, the load balancer automatically starts to send requests to it. So if a single server goes down or overloaded, whatever, it will be automatically redirects the traffic to the next or remaining online servers. So then the company, suppose in a small scale company, if you talk about, or a multi-tier company, if you talk about, if you have already 5 servers and you are serving the request, customer request, and you don't know when your customer increases. Okay, so when you don't know when you'll get maximum load on your systems, for that what you would have to will do, you'll just take, you'll just keep all other supposed to two more servers and keep it online, keep it ready to purpose the same, to solve the same request whatever getting from the customers, but the server should be online. If you just get the server, provision the server, and if you don't make it online, then load balancer will not work. Only load balancer work if the server is online. Okay, so when a new server is added, the server group, uh, uh, the load balancer automatically start to send the requests, right? So we don't have to do anything else. Once you add a server, once you add a server into the load balancing group, I'll show you how we can create a group and add a server. So once you add a server, load balancer will automatically send the request and check the health and do the health check. Okay, because it will be its responsibility to do health check of the servers. If the server goes down, it will automatically fall down or automatically redirects the request to the next available server. Okay, so we'll see in actions. One second, let me just make it a slide slow. I have just made it in this diagram. If you can see here, a client users and it connects the internet, and here, as I said, like load balancer will be sitting as a traffic of in front of your server. Suppose we have here 4 servers, and currently, suppose as per our company's requirement, it is serving the requests of the customers of the client, and it is going smoothly with the 2 servers. They are handling the request and it is going smoothly. In case suppose there are something happen, if any server goes down, what will happen? One more server is available, it will automatically redirect the request to the other server. Okay, so this server, the request will come to this server. So you don't have to bother anything on this. What you have to do, only you have to do the groupings, and you have to do the setups of your servers in the load balancing. So load balancer will automatically detect and automatically will do the health check and monitor all the servers for you. Okay, not only in case of any one server is down, in case of in any one server is overloaded, means it is out of the CPUs, like it is the CPU is 100% and it caused some slowness or something, and it not able to request handle any more requests. So in that case, it can redirect the request to the new server. So the next thing is, what is the benefits of load balancer? A load balancer performs the following functions. So if you see here, it distributes the client requests or network load efficiently across multiple servers. So it ensures high availability, reliability by sending requests only to servers that are online. Remember, the servers what are online only it can send, because offline servers it cannot handle. So provides the flexibility to add or subtract servers as demand dictates. So if there is more demand, if you need to add more servers, you can quickly come here without disturbing your current setup, without disturbing your current applications or customer requirement. You can increase or decrease the servers. If your customer increases, your demand increases, you have to increase the server to fulfill the requests, right? And if the customer goes down, you can decrease the servers whenever you need it. So next is, what is the benefits of load balancing? So as we all know, so it reduces the downtime, scalable, redundancy, flexibility, and efficiency. These are the benefits which we'll get using the load balancer. So we'll see each details later in this course. Okay. So see what type of load balancer available in AWS. As I told, there are 4 types of load balancer: application load balancer, network load balancer, gateway, and classic load balancers. So mostly this classic load balancer actually is going to be so the very old one, okay, which was initially created by the AWS, and they're no more going to use the classic load balancer. They're using the application load balancer, which is more powerful. Okay, and similarly they have network load balancer. We'll see each when to use application, when to use network, and when to use gateway load balancers. Okay, so what is this application load balancers? Application load balancers are best suited for load balancing of HTTP and HTTPS traffics. They operate at layer 7. So guys, if you would have remember, if you would have remember the OSI network layers, OSI model layer, right? In that layer, we have 7 layers, OSI layer, right? In networking, that layer application load balancer comes on layer 7. I'll show you in there in my next slide. Okay. So what they say, they're intelligent and we can create advanced request routing, sending specified requests to specific web servers. So it's a very intelligent, and it works on the web servers, http and https traffics, operates on the layer 7. So these questions you'll get it in the interviews as well as in your examinations also. Okay, remember it works on the network layer, sorry, applications and network layer, that is layer 7. Okay, and next one is, I'm sorry, network load balancer. So network load balancer are best suited for load balancing of TCP traffic, that transport control protocol traffic, where extreme performance is required. It operates at layer 4. So network load balancers are capable of handling millions of requests per second while maintaining the ultra low latency, and it is used for extreme performance. If you need high performance of your application, of your servers you need, then you have to go for network load balancers. Okay, and if you more concentrate about your applications, you want to perform good performance the applications wise and provide customers like all the times and uptime will be always 100% you'll be working for, then you can go for application load balancers. The next one is the classic load balancer. The classic load balancers actually are the legacy.
It is network layer in layer 5, I think, right? Network layer in OSI model.
No, 7 layers.
Yeah, no, 7 layers are there, but network layer in OSI model, it is in layer 5, right?
Which one? Application or acha, network layer you're talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah, network is
because application,
application layer. Yeah, the first one, application load balancer, it will be in the layer 7 will be, we'll see, layer 7 is the application layer. Okay, we have that layer OSI model.
yeah,
So layer 7 is
network,
the application.
uh, network is in layer 3,
Yeah,
right?
network is,
Physical data
network
link,
is layer 3.
yeah, layer 3. But in your presentation, you mentioned layer 4, right?
Network.
Here, network, yeah, it operates at layer 4, you mentioned, right? It should be 3.
No. Okay, I'll tell you why it is 4. So we are as we say, as the name is network load balancer, no, but it works on the transport layer, because it
Okay,
is load balancing for TCP, transport control protocol, right? It is for transport layering.
okay,
Okay,
okay. I
so
thought like network layer means it is working in network layer, so it is 3.
no.
Yeah,
So the network load balancer
okay,
works on the transport layer. Okay, the transport layer is layer 4, and this is the works on application layer, and the application layer is layer 7. So let me
correct.
discuss in our next slide. So the classic load balancer we are not going to do. It is one of the legacy elastic load balancer of AWS, and you can load the load balance same HTTP and HTTP applications, and it uses the layer 7. So we are not going to use it, and no need to discuss on the classic load balancers. Okay. One more things, if your application stop responding, the classic load balancer responds with 504 errors. So leave this one as we are not going to use. Next one is the OSI model. So whatever we discuss, just remember this guys OSI models. You may get us questions on that applications load balancer, on which layer it works. So it works on the application layer, and that is called layer 7. Layer 7 is your application, and in your OSI model it comes from the from the down. Actually we have to calculate from the down, that is the physical, then data link, network layer is the third one, and the fourth is transport layer. Whatever I just talked about, that our network load balancing works on the transport layer. Okay, that is TCP and UDP protocols. And then the session which is not required, so we'll mostly focus on the 7 and 4, transport layer, which is network load balancer and application load balancer 7. And the gateway load balancer, I'll tell you when we create that one. I'll tell you the gateway load balancer, and because they are recently added and I have not added that in my presenting in my slides. Okay, I'll tell you when we create the load balancers. Okay, so okay, so these are the load balancing things. Apart from that, we'll also understand what is the cross zone load balancing. So the cross zone load balancing enables you to load balance across multiple availability zone. As we saw, we in one region we have three availability zones, and it is not mandatory that all the servers we have in the one availability zone, right? We should always keep in separate availability zone for highly available, okay, for disaster recovery, right? For that, load balancer also supports the cross zone load balancing. If you have one zone in your server and if you want to balance in servers in any other zones, that also you can do, okay. Here, in case of no cross zone balance, if you just see the diagram and you'll understand clearly. In case of no cross zone load balancing, what happens when you say, you can see here one load balancer is available in South 1A, AP South 1A. It is one of the Mumbai region's availability zone 1A and 1B. We have a load balancer in 1A and another is in 1B. If you see here, in availability zone 1A, we have four servers, but in 1B, we have kept only one server. The thing is, when the user request comes, right? So the route 53, we'll see the route 53 in details, okay. Just for now, it's just it acts as a DNS management, and it used for redirects the internet traffics also, okay. It also uses to redirect the internet's traffic. What it does, it sends 50% request to availability 1A and 50% to 1B. As we have only one server in the availability zone 1B, so all the 50% being occupied by this 1B, and it is overloaded actually. If it does those 50%, if you see here and here, it is distributed between all four servers which is available in the 1B. In case of no cross zone balancing, we are just wasting, and the resources 1B is exhausted. However, this one are distributing the request among themselves, and they are using 12% of load, and this is working fine. But if you set all this in a cross zone load balancing, what will happen? See, in this cross zone, this was the no cross zone balancing, and if you see about the cross zone load balancing, the request comes 50% to each availability zone, but this load balancing, whatever set up in 1B, redirects the request to other servers which are available in availability 1A, availability zone 1A. That means, so we have now five servers, and they equally distributing the, this load balancer equally distributing the request to the five available servers. Now our loads equally distributed. All the servers are equally loaded with 20%, right? So that is cross zone load balancing. Now we'll see, okay. uh, okay, this script we're going to use, no worries. So this is what we are, we saw about the load balancing. Okay, before moving to the lab, do you have any questions and we need to discuss?
Ranjit,
Yeah,
one doubt here.
yeah.
So whenever we are saying load balancing, so why we consider here only one server in available zone 1B? Instead of that, we should have divided four servers into like three here and two there, like that. Instead of that, why we consider in one zone one server and
It is
another
created.
zone four server?
It is
So
created like
big
that.
is deciding, right?
Sorry, yeah, it's up to your requirement. You have to decide what to do. For my presentation, I have just prepared to show you and to show you clearly how it works, it looks like. But it, you can put 3, 4, 5, 6. It's up to you. If you have 100 servers, you can put like 50 in this server and 50 in this server, in this availability zone, or 30 in this availability zone and this availability. And one more good answer for this, can anybody tell what could be the reason behind putting one server in 1B and putting another server 1A.
If it is 1A completely goes down, so 1B will act right. 1B load balancer will take care of the request among all the means will take care of that request right.
But only one server will be exhausted, right? Because whatever we are currently supplying 5 servers, and if you keep one,
You may have high CPU, high memory. Suppose the 4 server each having 8 GB. This way, single server may have 32 GB of RAM and the rest of the infrastructure. It is how you decide that,
yeah,
or you may redirect a specific application request to node B and specific set of requests to node A. It depends. Means
it depends.
some application don't need to means you have multiple set of features. So some feature will be redirect to node A, rest will be node B, which is the less used. So you may put like this.
Yeah. So whatever
Based on the or in the region, like maybe some all the feature are not available on all the region, so maybe the business user are like which demand in that region it is available. Let's say suppose not all Mumbai has all these features, so we have to maybe choose for Sydney or Singapore. Is it that or
that's exactly correct. So Sivaram, right?
Tanmay?
Tanmay, oh sorry, yeah, Tanmay, yes, that is what I was expecting. So Tanmay, what actually what based on the region. So the thing is, I always tell you, right? You have to always take the servers and keep your servers location nearest to you. Okay. Suppose and whenever we are setting up the servers, we always keep in mind and for we have to be prepared for disaster recovery. Okay. For that, we have to keep our server in multi availability zone or multiple regions. First thing else, if we keep 4 servers in the region which is very far away to from us, then we have to pay huge amount of money to the cloud provider, right? So suppose 1B is Mumbai region here, and we are keeping only one server to reduce the cost. Okay, and 5 or 6 servers to that server, to in America or Singapore servers. Okay, and the region specific also when we target the customers with the geographically location, like we target the location Singapore customers, we target Australian customers. That time also we have to keep our servers in a different region and different locations, right? Either and Siba's answer also, Siba Patel also tell the same good answers, which is like you could have your servers which is having more resources, like more CPUs, more storage, and it should be like critical applications you'll be running, and you are keeping in one server, dedicated server, and putting it to the in one availability zone. It's entirely up to your company's requirement how you do the setups. Okay. So here in my presentation, I could have kept 2 servers in 1B or 3 servers. It's actually up to your requirements. Actually, I that my requirement is only to keep one server, so I kept one servers. Okay.
So this load balancing is controlling only region specific, or from one region to another also it will control.
That's why I told us cross zone load balancing. It also controls. It's not only doing in the same region, same zone, same availability zone. It also does the cross zone load balancing. Multiple regions and multiple availability zone also. It you can do the setups.
Ranjit, one question from my side. If you're doing the cross zone load balancing,
Mhm.
it will be a high demand of network interface, I think.
Exactly, it will be. So
And
that's why.
once the network interface will be high, then your process also may be slow also sometime.
Yes. So for that actually we have to set up which load balancer is required to set up here.
Um, Classic or something like that.
Network load balancer.
Network
network load balancer. So we need to set up the
Okay.
network balancer. So that's why I certainly based on your entirely requirements and all. So you have to decide what is required. So see, when we keep the servers in different regions, definitely the network bandwidth we need more, and we need high network performance, right? And we need the load
Uh,
balancing for yes.
yeah, in my office, when I doing the Jenkins jobs, okay,
Uh-huh.
some of the jobs are running. Some of the server in Hildesheim in Germany,
Mhm.
and some of the in our Bangalore. Somehow, when you are doing something in means your deployment, some of the means our jobs there, it is very slow, and when they are doing that, there is very fast there. How to come out means you have to do the network load balancing should be proposed there, or how it is can be improved.
Okay, okay. So I got it. So when they are doing the they are working on the build, and it is faster, right? And when
Yeah, there.
you're working, first thing you have to think where the server is, where the agent is. So which agent your
Okay.
jobs are running, right? Suppose that's why.
Yeah.
Guys, anybody can tell Siva, or anybody can tell
Which one? Net.
okay. Let me
This
tell.
is select as per the nearby availability zone.
When when you are hosting, based on your users who is going to use it, you have to place it in that nearest geographic location. Suppose
No, 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 no. Actually, no, no.
application
Actually,
user are in.
his company setup is already done, and
Yeah.
actually the jobs are running already. And the question is, the server, the jobs which are running using the server for the build purpose, for few users for that particular locations are actually for them actually it is faster, and for Tanmay and for their actually work it is slower. Why? Because the server
Their
will be nearest to them. Whatever the server they are building and they are using the build, right? That server should be the
Yeah.
nearest to the user who are using. For them it is faster, and for Tanmay and for their team actually it is slower. Because, and always remember, when we connect a server, there are multiple factors involved to connect a server and access, right? First thing, we need
Okay.
good network performance. So when we say the Jenkins agent, right? When our Jenkins job is running on any agent, that agent will be definitely in some other locations. If you're sitting in
Yeah.
Mumbai, or if you're sitting in India and connecting to that server, and your server Jenkins slave agent will be somewhere in Latin America or somewhere in Australia, in Europe continent. So when you will be triggering the job, that will face some slowness. So you are facing slowness in the building the jobs or connecting the server.
Connecting the server as well as when I some of the means developer we are doing the Git for the Git and all the things, and when you clone the Git also to the remote location, that also very slow
Mhm.
from here to there. That means if two servers are in two different location, how can we sync that one? That I will discuss later.
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. We'll discuss later on that how we can do that.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
definitely,
yeah. We can.
yeah, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, guys. So let's move on to the lab. So that's all about the theoretical part of this, and we'll move to the lab exercise, and we'll see how we can do the setups. Okay. Okay, so when we connect to the AWS Management Console, just go to the EC2 section, right? In EC2 services, we'll find this load balancer and uh, and auto scaling. Those two things we'll learn today. So in the load balancing section, if you see here in the left hand side, we'll find below, see, load balancing. Okay, before this load balancing, I'll show you another things also, that is called Bootstrap Script. Okay, while creating the instances, we need to set up the Bootstrap script. That means there will be a questions, guys. Can you tell anybody? Let me ask a question. During the boot up, can we install any applications?
That can be a
Yes,
root only.
and
That
Bootstrap.
can be.
Yes, by using the user, by
Bootstrap.
using the user data, by using the user data, if you want to install any of the
Bootstrap
application,
program,
it
you
won't
can
happen.
put the instruction to do whatever you want. You may initialize environment variable. You want to start some jobs, or you want to install some application. Those commands would be inbuilt in Bootstrap program to perform the task.
Yeah. So that we can do using the Bootstrap scripts. That I'll show you. So Madhi was telling about the user data. He might have gone through that. Okay. So the user data, I'll show you while setting the advanced settings and how to do that on. And you'll use it while you are doing an administration task, while installing any application or copying any file which is related to the projects, that while setting up the server itself you can do, and once it is boot up, it will be installed everything for you. Okay, and that we'll see how we can do that. So in the load balancer section, if you see here, you can just click on this load balancers. Okay, click on the load balancers.
Ranjit, one question. While you do the Bootstrap loader,
Yeah.
that time you are installing any software, or how it is? After the Bootstrap loader is started, then only we can do any of the application running.
No, what we can do, anyway, applications cannot run during the boot ups. Once you can install the
Yeah,
applications, but after the boot up only you can run the applications. That,
because yeah.
yeah, 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 please tell.
When you start the boot startup loader, because it was in the ROM only, it is starting the operating system or something like that of the address.
Hmm.
You cannot means when the priorities come, it is 100 is given to the operating system. It is the first priority.
Yeah.
Another application should be not be given the higher priority.
Hmm.
What I know, same thing where that's why first the bootstrap will be run, then only when the operating system come, then we can do the any user application run.
Okay.
Actually, Sibram, actually, the thing it is, yesterday I asked about the system log, right? Once the instance are launched, what are the things are pre-installed and everything, you need to check through that system log where these things and are taken care by Cloud Init in front of the instance. Okay, Cloud Init only will set up all those things. Whatever the data you needs to be pre-installed your instance, you just need to mention it in the user data field. Those things and all, while the system is put up, everything will be taken care. Once the system is launched, if you go and check the system log, you will get to know whether the applications are installed. Everything you put it in the user data, everything is installed or not. Everything you can see there.
Yeah, that's what only. But on same, because when you start the any of the computer or anything, only the after boot up only you are able to see. In while boot up you cannot see.
You cannot see anything.
That is my question.
No,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, you
That's
cannot see anything. You cannot.
Yeah, yeah,
Once it is done, yeah,
because it's a higher priority to go to the operating system.
exactly. The operating
Yeah,
system has to be first installed, right? Has to be first
yeah,
created,
yeah,
and that should be first boot up. And after then, the applications and the instructions, whatever you have given in the Bootstrap script, that will be executed. Okay, and those
yeah,
things we will
yeah,
see
yeah,
in details when we'll do the creation. Just hold on for
yeah, yeah,
some
sure.
time. Okay, we'll just create it.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Okay. Just come to the load balancer here. In the load balancer section dashboard, you can see, right? You can see here, create one load balancer, right? Just create one load balancer. And if you see, click on the create load balancer. Now we can see here, we have application load balancer, network load balancer, gateway load balancer, and this is previous generation classic load balancer, which we are not going to use it. They are going to remove these classic load balancers. Okay, and they're highlighted these three load balancers so far. So applications load balancer, as I told, it works on the HTTP, HTTPS web servers. For web servers and applications, you can use application load balancer and network for network high performance and TLS and TCP. You can use for network load balancer. And for gateway load balancer, like choose a gateway load balancer when you need to deploy and manage a fleet of third-party virtual appliances that support ZenEV. These applications enable you to improve security and compliance and policy controls. So this gateway load balancer somehow is now when we need this gateway load balancer. Can anybody tell when we need this gateway load balancer?
It will handle huge amount of user request which will be put at the network layer.
Mhm.
This is the like a entry for all the request.
So as you can see here, it works on the internet protocol IP. It works on internet protocols. So the gateway, as I said, it's the entry point of your gate. As it's a gateway, like you have to set up all this load balancing and the routing label. Okay, that you have to set them in the gateway load balancer. But this load balancer they introduced recently, we are not going to use it anymore. Okay, in this course we are not going to use it, even not network load balancer. We'll focus on the application load balancer only. Okay, so when you just click on this create application load balancer, see in this section what you'll see, we have different options available, IP address types and all. Okay, now what I'm going to do, before creating the load balancer, I'll show you how to set up the groups. First we have to set up the groups and then we'll do the load balancing setups. Okay, let's move on. Go to your load balancing target groups. Click on the target groups. Here we have to create the target groups, right? Create target group. And here what you have to select, instances. Choose the target type. As I told, you can select multiple ways, like either instances, IP addresses, lambda functions. All these options you can use it. Now I'm going to use the EC2 instances. So select EC2 instances here. Supports load balancing to instances with a specific VPC. Okay, so we are going to use our custom and default VPC here until unless we learned about the VPC and create our own VPC. Okay, so instances and then give a target group name. Suppose I can give us my ELV, okay, group, my ELV group, anything based on your requirement. And I'm going to work on the protocol HTTP 8.0. Okay, because I'm going to work on the application layer, right? Okay. Now the protocol versions, you can choose what of the protocol versions. So HTTP 1, and here default VPC will be there. Select the VPC. So I have only one VPC. I don't have any custom VPC. So I have to select the default VPC. If you have already a VPC created, you can select it. We'll see when we complete our VPC sections. That time we'll see our custom VPC and select it. Now the health check. Okay, so here the health check you have to do. Health check protocol, suppose I am doing HTTP, and for health check, suppose I am doing index.html, because I am just going to create two Apache servers in two different EC2 instances, and will just copy some index files to our servers in the while booting up. Okay, now you can see here advanced health checks. So if you see here advanced health check, the ports, the traffic port, here you can see the healthy threshold, unhealthy threshold, timeout intervals, and intervals. So you have to see uh, the healthy threshold, the number of consecutive health check successes required before considering an unhealthy target, right? On unhealthy target healthy. That means it will check. Suppose you have 5 times the number of consecutive health checks. So it will check 5 times the servers before it decides what needs to be done. So you are giving instructions to the load balancer to do the consecutive 5 times health check. After that, they decide what needs to be done. Then unhealthy threshold, the number of consecutive health check failures required before. Okay, it is check successes. The 5 times successes, then it will take the decision. If number is 2 times failures, then what needs to be done? It will take consider the server as unhealthy, then it will redirect the request. Okay. Similarly, the timeout request, the amount of time in seconds during which no response means a failed health check. If within five seconds it did not get any response, it will give the timeout. Then it will redirect the request to the another available or online servers. Okay, and the intervals, every 30 seconds interval, the health check will be performed on an individual targets. So the success code is always 200, within the 200 to 29 to 99, and the targets, tags you have to add. It's actually the name of the load balancer. You can just give name. Okay, and then you can just set next. Okay, now I created a target, right? Created target. Got it. So our target is created. So when we create the target, we have to set up few servers to add into the target group, right? So let's move on quickly and create. Let me, okay. So in the EC2 itself, I'm going to create two or three servers. Okay, go to launch instance, and this time I'll show you how to create multiple servers. Okay, see, select one of the images, suppose Amazon Linux and T2 Micro. Here I need, suppose, two instances. Select two. That means it will create two servers. Okay, now let's select the rest of the things default, because we don't have any what's it? You may want to consider launching the design into an auto-scaling group to help you maintain. No, I don't want it. Okay, so the network default we have, we don't have any other networks. Okay, now if you go down entirely, you will see one advanced details. I was talking about the bootstrap, right? So in this advanced details, we can see here user data sections are there, which was Madhi was telling user data. In this user data sections, whatever instructions you will provide here, that will be executed during your boot up. Okay, so what you'll write it here? The shell script. You have to write the shell script here. You have to write the Unix commands which you want to execute, because these are the Linux environment. Okay, now let me write small shell script here. Bin bash. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to install one Apache server, suppose. So what I'll do it here, simply uh, yum install, okay, httpd hyphen y. Okay, let me copy the script whatever is there. Okay, so what I did it here, let me explain you. First thing is I'm updating the operating system, right? I'm updating the operating system. Once it is done, then installing the Apache server, yum install httpd. Then I'm starting the service httpd start. And this check config, actually why we need this, when you do this setup, whenever you restart your server, next time you don't have to restart the Apache server, it will be automatically start for you. Okay, so that's why I'm making it on. It is optional if you want to keep it, or you can just leave it. And the next one is line is simple one HTML line. I'm echoing it and then redirecting to var www html index.html file. In this file I'm just got it. So what happens? HTML application server 01, suppose I gave it here. I can give any one here, 01. What will happen here? Just leave this, just give application server, because what we are doing, why I kept it here like this application server, because see, we are giving two numbers to get two numbers of servers. That's why if I give one only, it's no point of having server one or two. Once it is done, we'll go inside the server and then we'll edit it. So next what happens, give the add tag. Again, two servers, so then whatever the value will give, the both the servers will be the same value. Okay, suppose I'm just going to give us elb demo server, elb demo.
Yeah, Ranjit, this is where yesterday people were asking, like, my tag name is not populated automatically. Just explain 1 second to them.
Yeah, yeah, yesterday also I told, again let me tell. So this name section, right, whatever you are giving, it should be n should be capital. Okay, if I don't give if I give n small letter, so it will not treat as the name. The key should be whatever the key you are giving, it should be as n capital and name name, and the value. If you keep this one blank, then the server name will be blank. If you want to give it here, it will be added it here. Okay, so you can give another tags. These are the metadata. These are the metadata. Whatever the tags you will save it here, you can just put the details over here. So if you want to more details about the tags, just click this link here, the tagging, how the tagging. So what it says, a tag consists of a case sensitive, that's a case sensitive. So if you give n small, then it will not work. If you have to give n capital and then name, key value pair. For example, you could define a tag with a key name and the value as web server, name as web server. A copy of a tag can be applied to volumes, instances, or both. But let's see what are the tags. See, the tag sections, you can see the owner. See, uh, here you can see give role app suppose role you can give app server anything a role and add another tag like you can see what is it owner right and I'm on it. So if you see here instances keeper launch resources type no this is another data okay let's set up as owner now what we are going to do add suppose one owner and owner I can give so the roles and tags you can add it and sorry the tags you can add it multiple tags if you want based on your company's requirement you can add it here okay to simplify that one but it's not that's mandatory it's optional okay if you add it you can add it or you can just leave it now go to the security groups click on the security groups so here as I'm going to work on the http protocols so I have to provide access to the port number 80 okay that is http protocol so what I can do I can select the existing one suppose this is the demo linux sc is the existing one which is having ssh and http so this will helpful for me okay anyway when I select this I could see here the http protocol is missing here only ssh protocol has accesses right now let's the next one whether this one is having yes so I have the demo server sss http is having the protocols now let's select that and review then launch and the existing key pair so Dilip was asking yesterday right the key pairs so this key pair whatever I'm selecting is available on my AWS account here whatever I am selecting and whatever I'm selecting from my laptop that is available on my laptop locally okay suppose I selected my new key here that means this key pair should
One minute, Ranjit.
yeah
Just you you remind me that question again.
mhm.
Actually, I was trying actually. So what was my question? So whenever you are loading this key pair, okay. So it is loading in your desktop, local desktop, right?
No, not loading from the local desktop. It will be loading from this account. Whatever I'm selecting
Ah,
here,
yes, yes. No, no. This key pair will be loaded in your local desktop. I mean,
downloaded.
we need to save the file or
Downloaded.
PPK file.
It will be
Ah, yes.
downloaded to our.
But you, yes. But you showed me yesterday in your server it is there. That means my question was through WinSCP we are moving this PPK file to your server, right? Unix server. I
Why
mean download path.
why you need to move it to your PPK file, this file to your server? You are not moving it. You are not moving to your server. You are using that PPK file to connect the server. You are using the PPK
How
file.
it was there in your server? Because you saw in download it was there, right?
Okay.
4 or 5 files are there
Uh-huh.
in your Unix server.
Okay. I mean, how
So
to
that I was asking how I mean how you save that file in your Unix server.
I'm not saving anything in the Unix server. I'm saving it in my
Ranjit,
local desktop. Uh-huh.
Ranjit, his answer is like, you can, if you once you launch the instance, if you are showing the system log and explain to him how this Unix connections are established in that instance, he may get to know.
Mm,
This key, whatever the key we are selecting here is a private key. When we connect the Amazon machine have some routing table. That routing table, this private key as a key, and Amazon have the lock for that. When this key is matching with that Amazon stored routing table lock, this key only opening that lock, and based on that lock, you will connect the Amazon instance.
he did not get it. Let me explain, Mati. See, Dilip. Let me tell you clearly from the beginning. So for everyone, when we create the keys, one key pair will be stored in AWS. Okay, suppose let me create for these two instances. Let me create a new key pair. Okay, I'm not going to use the existing, which is confusing you. Let me create a new key pair. Suppose here I'll just give a key pair name that is called, suppose, my ELB key. ELB, I will give my ELB key. This is what my key pair name. And if you can see it here, you have to download the key pair to connect the servers. That means when you download these key pairs, you will have that certificate, and that certificate will have your public and private keys, PPK files, through which you can connect to the AWS server. So then how AWS server will recognize that this people is connecting? Whatever key pair you are giving, one will be stored in the AWS route table. That will be stored in the AWS account, in your AWS, this particular region, particular AWS account, it will be stored. Okay, now with this key pair, which you have already downloaded to your system, if you use that one to connect, then that private key, whatever you have, will sync or match with the key which is stored in the AWS. Then it will connect to the server. It is only to connecting the server only. We are not moving anything, or we are not sending anything to the server. We are just keeping this key to connect. So I think still confused.
Yeah, just
No,
one question here. Yeah,
I got
let's say
it.
suppose key pair got downloaded in
Yeah.
a system A. Okay, and somehow like the system A didn't start, or due to some issue, or it got changed. Like now you are using system B, so you are not able to then find this key pair, right? Suppose think of like I am using my laptop, and the key pair downloaded into my laptop. Now let's say tomorrow in a class, or maybe like I am not able to log into my laptop due to some issue.
Okay.
I'm now using another laptop.
Uh,
So can I find this key pair there, or I
mm,
am not able to log into?
you cannot able to log in. So what you have to do in that case, you have to use your root account to connect to your AWS, and then download another key pair. Then using that you can log into that. You have to, that's why
As much as
you have to download the
It's
private
just a
key.
key.
Sorry.
Yes. I told it's
what
just a
I'm
key. Should be present in your desktop to connect the server.
It's a certificate file, man. It's a key. If you are
Yes,
putting a lock to
yes,
your
yes.
system, it is a key. It is a key to connect. It is a key to connect the
The
server.
same way you are logging into your SSO in BNP, if you see, automatically it is reading. Previously you have a certificate. Now we are using your the CAD. Okay, so CAD has a own certificate. So when you're connecting, it is connecting like this because you have another set of details of the CAD what you are reading at server end, which is connecting. So it is simply like when you are using user ID password you are not using. Okay, simple to the server. Okay, you create a key pair in when you logging in putty. Automatically when you import the key, automatically in server it will connect based on your authentication of that key. It will let you connect. It is just alias name of your password. It is more secure, you can say. Okay.
it is authenticate for the authenticate to server to whatever the that server is some different physical location. Your network also in you are working some to authenticate, or TCP IP handshaking is coming there with this key pair, I think.
This is a simple one.
Or
Okay, it is a more
yeah,
secure way to connect
yeah.
because your password can be hacked, used by anybody. So when you have a security key like this, it will be very difficult for somebody to log in. That is simple. It is a way to log in. You are using user ID and password. Now you are using a specific certificate like this key. Okay, it will be more
Authentication.
difficult to. Yes, it is same. There is nothing different, but it will be more secure. That's why you are using.
Yeah. No, one more thing, Ranjit, here I want to know. There is a same certificate there with another AWS server and the same certificate with your laptop also. I think both are same only. Only they will connect through the one of the certification or some algorithm they will be there that can be connected through
Exactly.
network.
Exactly. See,
Yeah.
whenever we select this key pair for this particular server, that key pair will be stored internally in the AWS table where you can use this key name to connect to this server. Whatever you download, I'll show you as I have multiple other keys, right? So we'll try to connect this server, whatever we create now, and we'll see what is happening if we connect from other keys, other certificates. And here also it is clearly mentioned you have to download the private key, that PEM files, before you can continue. Stored it in a secure and accessible location. You will not be able to download the file again after it is created. That means you have to, when you download these files, you have to keep it in a safe locations, should be accessible. Once you lose it, you'll not get it again. What it says, you'll not able to download the file again after it's created. So for that, what
Like Ranjit bhai, what I'm telling, lock and key pair. Lock if you put that key pair is only that key can only open your lock.
that key
That is
only.
that key pair is, yeah, that key pair is in your with you
Yeah,
key, and that lock is in your door. Only that key can be access, or you can authenticate to the open the lock. That's it.
that's very simple.
It's
Yes,
very simple.
that is very simple.
Yeah.
Yes, that is the only thing, because we are getting the private key with us, and that key will be available one with the server. When we need that server to log in or authenticate, we need that key to authenticate the server. That's simple. We have to. That's why we are downloading and keeping it safe with our, in our laptop or anywhere. You can do that, right? Okay. Now let me download this first. Let me download, and I'll show you when we connect, and we'll see the system logs that time, and I will see how it works. That will again give you more clarity. Okay, so just go ahead and launch instances. See, what I've given here, actually, the name tag I have given ELB demo server. You can see here, same name tag is applicable for both the servers. Okay, now just here, and let me just go to instances running. So refresh it. It's just initializing. Okay, two servers. If you want to, suppose, let me edit it. Here I can just give ELB demo server 1, save it, and here I can give ELB demo server 2. Now save it. So let me connect any one of the server. Anyway, I have to connect two servers. Let's go here, get the public IP. Guys, if I if I just do this web server checks, right? If I do the web server check in the browser, what will happen? Can anybody tell what will happen if I hit enter on this IP addresses? I'll log in. I'll just access this web address.
Whatever
It
the
will give
thing
the
which are put it in user data, that will come. Instance is launched, not launched yet. So we have to wait for some time in order to reflect what we have put it into that.
if
Instances already launched.
if the tomcat is not restricted, then it cannot show. So if in the mm, that tomcat need to be restarted in order to show
Yeah.
the value.
Anyway, the
Else it
Tomcat
don't
is
show.
sorry, no, it's not the Tomcat. It's Apache server. The Apache server is already
Yeah.
started. That's why we are getting the test page over here, right? The same things. If we go here and copy the other server also, copy the server 2, and just hit enter, you'll find the same page also here. See, this is Apache server's default page. That means Apache server has installed successfully and it's up and running. both the servers are our application server are both application server in this are up and running. Now let me log in to the server. Let me log into the server. So how I can log in? Just suppose let me connect to one of the server I'm using here. So if I go to my download folder, I'll have this my ELB keys, right? So my ELB is downloaded today. Okay. Now as let me show you with other keys whatever I have, try to connect this server. What will happen? Hyphen I. So I have to provide the key. Suppose I gave the key as demo Linux server key. Okay. And situ hyphen user at the rate give the IP addresses. So it simply says permission denied. It simply says permission denied. We cannot able to connect. Okay. If I use this key, before that let me just modify the permissions or else it will not work. Okay. So if I use my ELB keys, which I had selected during the server creation, right? I have to just use hyphen I. Now see, I can able to connect with this key because I used only this my ELB keys whatever I downloaded here, and this contains only the private keys, the certificates. This is the certificate which contains both public and private keys. Contains both public and private. This is the certificate file. You need a certificate to connect and authenticate to the server. Now using this certificate, I authenticate to the server. Then the next is what we have to do. We need to connect the another server. So if you see here, system ctl status httpd. So see, it is running. We did not do anything. We just gave all the instructions while setting up the servers, right, in the bootstrap areas in the user data whatever you will give during the boot up, it will work. Okay. Now what I'm going to do here, but somehow it did not work. I just did one echo, right, echo command, echo, and I did it, and I redirect to index.html, right? So if I go to that folder, it will not be there. It will not be there. So the index file is not here. Let me quickly create the index file.
Ranjit, while we are creating user data, we have mentioned something in that index file, right? We put it some value into that index file, right? Why it is not showing?
Yeah, sometimes actually what happens, I have noticed whatever you're giving, sometimes it does not create the file. So while redirecting, I think there is extra space I provided. That's why it is not created the file. Okay. There could be some
Okay, okay.
extra space or something I gave which is not created actually.
You mean like that script you have to be written during this creating instance, right? That one is not reflecting due to extra space, right?
Exactly.
So
That is that's okay. That I'll show you in again when we do and creating next class. I'll show you how to set up all these bootstraps and all. Sometimes what happens, sometimes due to space or anything, because what happens, I copied it from the this one. Maybe I believe somewhere I may gave extra spaces or something, due to this quote or something, it is not working. Okay. In our next server creation, I'll write it. Means I'll not copy this time. I'll just write it and we see whether it is creating or not. Sometimes it creates and sometimes it doesn't. Yeah.
Ranjit, is there not way like something went wrong with that script while creating instant? It's not allow us to be amend something again with the
No. You have to.
once instance
No, no, no.
created.
No, we cannot do anything because once instance is created, we cannot do that. We cannot uh, edit the script because the script you are giving itself in the bootstrap time, right? So you will not get the script after that. What you have to do, you have to manually. What I am doing it now, you have to connect the server, and the rest of the things, whatever you missed, you can do it manually. Now I am doing it manually. Suppose creating the index file, right? The same things you have to create it. Now what I'm going to do.
Is there any
Sorry.
concept like you can test it in lower environment, same script?
Okay, which environment?
So suppose any lower environment, we can test in pre-prod environment. Normally we are testing, right? So similarly, you can test whether this bootstrap is working properly or not, or it's not possible here.
See,
It actually it is going to run one time only when you create the server. Your Bootstrap is running every time when you are restarting a server. But this one, it is when initializing the server, the first case, it is running once.
once
After that, if you run, it won't happen anything.
it will not be there to
Okay,
run.
okay,
It will
okay.
not be there to run. Okay, because once you create, it is one time only. Once you create it, it is gone. You cannot get it again. Okay, it's not like every time you're
No,
restarting.
I think no. I think his question is like before putting that script. So whether any we have to be tested first whether it's working or not. Then we
Obviously,
have to be put it there because
obviously.
so
Yes,
so
I
before
understand.
that where that is the concern.
Mhm. Yes, obviously, anything you are writing, whatever the script I gave it here, right? The same thing you can test it on your server before giving in your bootstrap script. If you want to test the script, you can easily test it. Suppose let me test this one, simple things, right? Simple things, let me test it here. If I go, I have this, suppose this server I have just logged in. Let me go to any folder, and here if you want to test this, okay, here it gave something, syntax error. Okay, near expected broken, something happened, that's why it did not work. I believe.
Extra angle is there.
No, I believe due to this code. See, the behavior of this code is different and this code is different, right? If I could just copy this and here, just give a quote here, and then just redirect to a file, test.txt. Anything, I'm just testing it. So it is working now. That is why I was telling, right, that while copying there could be due to some space issue or due to some character issue. Due to this character issue, it did not create the file. That's okay. But whatever the other things we have given, it has done successfully. If you see what are the other things we had given, update, we had given install, we had started the server, we had given check config, all these things worked. Only these things did not work because of the double quote. Okay, it did not work. This quote is something character, different characters, and whatever I wrote it manually is a different character. Okay, now if you see it here, I have the test.txt file, right? Test.txt files. So you can easily test whatever you are giving in the bootstrap. That is always should be tested in any lower environment. You should test in any lower environment. Okay. So Dilip, you
Yes.
have.
One just small doubt here.
Yeah, please.
So actually, we have mentioned this HTML code in the Bootstrap script user data,
Yes.
but while connecting the server, this information has not shown.
Mhm.
So can this information can be checked in the logs?
Yes,
Okay, so system has
yeah,
been created and it is try to start, but HTML code not able to.
yes. I'll show you that. So just okay. So because I had kept it to after setting up all this, I'll be showing that one. But if you want, what how you can do, just go to your instances. Okay, select any one of the server. Suppose I want to select the logs for this. We can go to the actions, monitor and troubleshoot sections, right? And get system log. If you select this get system logs, you'll get all the details about the servers. Okay. Now if we just move off, see everything is there. What happened first? Our system is initialized, right? After the system is initialized, what is happened? The system is initialized and its operating system is installed. Okay, after that what happens, you can see here all this Linux server is booting off. All this booting off. Okay, so here you can see the OS version 2 and it is loaded successfully. Okay, the other application is yum. Okay, no need to object, so no packages needed. Okay, you can see this log. It is now installing the applications, right? You can see this is the application installations. See, httpd installing what we had given, right? After that, what it does, it it said, see the same syntax error whatever we got, right? It is because of the double quote. It throws some error. It's some extra different characters. See, it's giving some echo different characters. Because of this is failed, it did not work, and it gave warning also, some syntax errors. You can find out now. Okay, in this way you can find out.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah, in our questions also, in our sections also, we had given to start the service, and in this section log it says it starts the service. In this way you can find it out the systems logs whatever you want to do. And here after that what happens, it configures the keys. It configures the keys, whatever the key we have, get it right. See, we connected to the server using the key file, right? It gives these informations also. In this way you can see the system logs, and the same logs you will find for a other server also. Okay, now let me quickly go here and set up the server different. So this, remember this white one is server 2 and this green one I'm going to make it as server 1. Sorry. uh, okay, now if I just refresh this page, okay, now our application server 2 is running. Now this, let me just quickly go and give one index file there. Wow man, we are getting late. Okay, ssh hyphen I key section hyphen If I go here and refresh this one, so we'll get our application server 1, and here this one is our application server 2. So both of the server we have our application servers running. Now quickly go to our load balancer group, target groups, and here select this target group. So we don't have any targets registered. Can you see here? Do we have any targets, any machines here? No. So what we have to do, we have to register a targets. Okay, just go ahead and register the targets. So you can see here two servers available to register. However, if I go to my EC2 instances, and if I go to the instances, I have I have five servers, but only it is showing two. Why? As per the nature of the ELB, it will only display and work on the online servers. That means which is the server which is running, which are running. That servers only it will display. So that's why it is giving two servers. Okay. Now target groups. So just go here and you have to register the targets. You have to add what servers you want to put in your load balancing. You are going to create a group, right? So register a target. So I want to put both the servers in load balancing. So select both the servers and include as pending below. So now it is in the pending status. Now register pending targets. Okay. Now you can see it here. I have two servers registered with this group, load balancing group. Okay. Just wait for some time, and after 5 seconds it will just check the health. It will do the health check and it will give the status. Okay, just refresh it. It has noted the target group is not configured to receive traffic from the load balancer. Okay, what it says, the health status detail, the target group is not configured to receive the traffic from the load balancer. Now we created the targets. What we have to do, we have to set up a load balancer. So how you to do, just go to the load balancer section here, create a load balancer. Suppose I'm going to create application load balancer, select it, just give a load balancer name. Suppose my I can the application my al app, okay, application lb, my application lb, and it should be internet facing, and IP address is IPv4, that's fine, and listener should be 80 because I'm working on the HTTP protocols. Okay, so just go ahead and configure security settings. So the security settings, you can just, the tags are okay, let me give a tag, my app lb. Okay, fine. And here you can see the AWS Global Accelerator. What is this global accelerator? If you want for better performance, see, improve, what it says, create an accelerator to get static IP addresses and improve the performance and availability of your applications. If you want to select this, you'll have to pay more for that, because this global accelerator, it is giving you static IP addresses. Okay, so they will be charging use for this. Okay, I'm not going to select it, leave it blank. So what happens, next, go and configure the security settings. Anyway, you have to select it. I don't have any accelerator, why it is not allowing? One second, guys. Oh, I'm missing it here, the main. Okay, I just came to the down, but there is something up here. Okay, when we select the port 80, right? And we are talking about this availability zones. We need to set up which availability zone you want to keep your servers. This is very important, guys. I was missing this part. Okay, so you have to select your server and load balancer in which availability zone you want to put it. Suppose I want to put in all the availability zones, because each region has three availability zones, right? So see, Mumbai region, I'm going to select as Mumbai region. I have selected. We have three availability zones. I set all three availability zones to available. What it says, specify the availability zones to enable for your load balancer. The load balancer route traffic to the targets in these availability zones only, and you can specify only one subnet for availability zone, as we already discussed. So there should be only one subnet for one availability zone. We cannot set multiple subnets in the one availability zone. Okay, this is a very important questions, and you will get in the interviews as well as in the certifications. Okay, so what it says, you must specify subnets from at least two availability zones to increase the availability of your load balancer. You can select at least two, but let me select both all the. Now go ahead and configure the security groups. So the security groups, I'm going to use the one which I had selected here. Suppose the demo server and not the default one. Next, configure routing. In this routing, you have to select the target group, which target group you want to add to this load balancer. You can create multiple target groups based on your applications, based on your customer facing anything. You can create multiple targets and add to the load balancer. Here I have only one existing target groups, that is called my LB. So whatever target groups here I select, it automatically takes rest of the things based on the setup done in the groups. Okay, now I don't have to do anything else. The health check path is given index.html. Okay, so if you want to do advanced health check options, we have all this is disabled, because all this has been set up in the groups. Now we have to only select the existing target group here. Okay, go and register the targets now. Go ahead, and we have to, both are working good, review it and then create. So our load balancer is successfully created. Just close it. It's now in provisioning state. Just wait for a few seconds. It will get off now. Okay, let it off. And our both of the server is already running, right? App1 and app2. App2 and app1 are running. So let me close this one and I'll show you. Okay, so it's still provisioning, and okay, let me show you some other things here. If you go to the give the description details, you'll find all the VPC availability zones and all the information, security groups, everything. You'll find it over here. If you want to edit any security groups, you can edit it here. Okay, edit the security groups. And if you want to see the listener details, HTTP and whatever the forwarding to which group, everything you can see, and you can edit the rules as well. Similarly, monitoring options also there, and the monitoring options you will find in the CloudWatch metrics. We'll see this once we'll go for the CloudWatch alarms and metrics. You can find it all this informations over here. And the integrated service, you can find all this global accelerator. We have not given any accelerator config and all the informations. Tag section, I have given any tag my app LB. All the informations you can find it over here. Okay, just refresh. Okay, now we can see here our application load balancer is created. Now we got one load balancer. So how we'll connect this server? Guys, can anybody tell me, have you ever seen a load balancer in your company? Or have you anyhow experienced any kind of load balancing or load balancer things? How you connect to the server actually? If you have five servers and those five servers are having the same applications and that is customer facing. So which URL you need to connect to the and share to the customer?
DNS of the
Sorry?
load balancer. DNS of the load balancer.
Okay, yes. So the DNS of the load balancer, the host name of the load balancer. So this is the DNS name. You can see it here, the DNS name. This is what we need to connect the server. So this is our A record. Okay, this is the A record. If I want to set this A record, create a record in my Route 53. We'll see the Route 53 sections later. And if I want to redirect, suppose my website ranjitswine.com to this DNS name, what will happen? If you type ranjitswine.com, it will come to one of the server. So let me just give it here and hit enter. See that application, this DNS is giving me now only application one server. Okay, if I refresh this, see, you can see changing, right? 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2, right? I'm giving heavy
Yes,
load.
yes.
I'm giving heavy load, and it's going to redirecting the traffic to other. I'm just clicking. Based on the refreshing time, it's just going to the other server. 2 1 2 1. It's going to the. Similarly, if you want to register another server, can anybody can guide me how to register one more server and how to add into the load balancer? Can anybody guide me quickly?
So first we need to create the instance, and we need to add that instance to our target groups, and we need to add that instance to our load balancer as
Exactly. So we don't have to add into the load balancer. Once we create the instances, just register the instance into the register the targets here in the groups, and this group is already registered with the load
well
balancer.
available.
So you can do any things in future. This is now my company requirement is done. Suppose tomorrow there is some customer increases and we are facing some loads on our servers. We need another two servers to be added. What we have to do? We have to provision two more servers and add and register those targets over here. So let me quickly do one thing, and this time I'll do. We have few more minutes. Let me just create one more instance quickly. Guys, don't unnecessarily create all this. You have to pay otherwise lots of, because I already have five servers running. If I create one more, so I have to pay for that server also. But let me just quickly create.
Whenever you are saying and we need to pay, we are thinking whether we will create or not.
But no, you have to do practice. You have to gain something to you have to pay something, right? If you don't pay, then you'll not gain anything. Just pay it. It's very minimal, man. It's very minimal. Within 200, 200 or 300 rupees, you have to pay it. That's okay. You have to
We'll
pay.
request the support team. After all, we'll request support team to deduct that one.
That's okay. That you can request them to deduct the money whatever they charged. They can do it. They are very genuine. They are very good guys. They support guys. Okay, let me quickly create one.
Ranjit, can this
Ranjit,
DNS link can be accessed by everyone? Because if you
Yeah,
give
yeah, yeah.
anywhere,
Let me
this
ping.
DNS
Let me
link can
ping
be
you.
accessed by us.
Yeah. You can do that. Let me ping you. You can try in your machine now, so you can see the server also. Just click this DNS name. you'll get uh, you'll get this application running on your machine also. I pinged you in the chat. Okay, so just check it. Okay, so quickly let me clear it. Sorry, create one more configurations. Okay, this time I see selected one, and I'm going to, in the user data sections, I'm going to write myself. I don't want to copy it. I'm copying it. Created one mess, right? Bin bus. So yum object hyphen y yum install httpd hyphen y. So service httpd start httpd start check config. I'm not giving it, or you can give it check config. I'm not giving it. Now this time I'm giving echo. Okay, let me just do html. Sorry, echo html. Just give a simple tag here. We are h1. I'll give as 03. Okay, html. Now close it and redirect to the var www slash html slash I'm going to get index.html. Okay, index.html. So everything looks correct now. Last time, because of this double quote, it did not work. So I did not miss anything, right? Install httpd service httpd start. This is correct. Let me check again. Service httpd start. Okay, fine. Now just go add storage tag. I can see as name. I can give us EL, what is the ELB demo server 3. Fine, next activity 2. So existing one, review and launch. So the key pair, I can give my ELB key, select it, launch. Okay, so I created one more server. So if I go to instances, running. Okay, so now my server 3 also running. So as for our thing, we have to go to the target groups, and here we have to just register the server. What we have to do, come here, register targets. So here you can see what are the servers are running. So I want to register this server. Now include as pending below. Register. Now it is added to our, so it is just doing the initial. So target registration is in progress. So let it let it be done. Meanwhile, let me connect. So let me get the server IP and connect and see what is happening. If I copy this and go here, paste it here. See, this time the Bootstrap script did not fail. It did not throw any error. It worked, and it created the index.html file. It installed the Apache server. It created the index.html file, and then it started the server. See, it's simple. It's running now. Application 3 server is running. If I give the IP address, it's running. Now we registered the server in our ELB, right? Let me quickly go there. I'm running out of time. 1 second. The target groups, uh, refresh it. So ELB, it's Okay, now we can see it is healthy. Server 3 is now healthy, right? If I go here, just see, now if I refresh, it goes to application server 3. I refresh this one. Same way, you can add as many servers as you want in the load balancer groups. Okay, or else you can create separate groups based on your applications, based your requirement, and you can put it. Guys, this is actually the load balancing 1 hour class, but we took 2 hours to explain and do this lab. If we go in this speed, I think we'll be delayed the course. Tomorrow I'll just little bit speed up and go with the auto scalings one. If you go in the same speed for auto scaling, again it will take 2 hours of time, right? um, so I will little bit speed up and we'll discuss further. Okay, any doubt, guys? We'll quickly discuss, or we'll meet up next weekend. I'll share the videos just after, maybe today, in after another 1 or 2 hours. Okay, after my another class is over, I'll just go and upload it. Okay.
Yes.